Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. New York Appeals Court today threw out the $500 million civil fraud penalty against Donald Trump, stating that the fine was excessive. However, they did not toss the case out entirely. It was a divided decision. There were five justices on this appeals court. Two of them voted to leave the case the way it was. Two voted to send it back for another trial under a more limited scope, which is something apparently the Trump attorneys were arguing the whole time and didn't get. And one judge said that Letitia James should have never had the authority to bring the case in the first place. So what happens next? I don't know who New York's highest court is, but apparently four of the justices decided to uphold the original charges and guilty verdicts on that. So that will allow this case to go to the final court. But the fine currently has been dropped. Now, it could very well be that the fine could be reinstated by the upper court, or the upper court can just approve it the way it is. Let's see. Trump obviously is celebrating this because he doesn't really care if he's convicted of committing fraud as long as he gets to keep all the money, because that's what's important to him. Again, the panel upheld the decision, which also means that they found that Trump Jr. and Eric Trump possessed a requisite intent to defraud, as did Alan Weisselberg and Jeffrey McConney. They've also said, considering the significant likelihood that defendants would reoffend, the Supreme Court's injunctions were measured and fair. Basically saying that these guys can't be like executives in a company anytime soon. Letitia James said that the panel affirmed the trial court finding that Trump and his company are liable for fraud, and upheld the injunctive relief her office won against them. To her, she said, quote, "It should not be lost on history, yet another court has ruled that the president violated the law and that our case had merit." She said that they will appeal this ruling. This appeals court, they noted, did take a long time to rule, weighing the appeal for nearly 11 months after the arguments were submitted. I can only imagine that the reason why it took that long and the reason why they ruled the way they did is that Trump got installed into the White House. I would be concerned about who owns the judges, because we've seen that in the Supreme Court. By the way, this is my second reading on this. The first reading, I started uploading, I stopped because I was super angry. And it could very well be that will be the more accurate reading than this one here. But I'm just going to park that one for now. In this case, I want to look at the energy around this decision. I'm not happy. Go figure. I'm not happy about this. It just seems like Donald Trump is never held to account for anything he does on this planet. And this was like one of those few times where he would be held to account. Are they going to toss out the E. Jean Carroll one next? Because that's under appeals. They still have the 34 felonies, but there's no prison time with it. Right? Judge Merchan, that case is just idling. He can't cause any prison time to go on there. So, 34-time felon, no jail time, no prison time. Defrauds the New York State out of tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. No civil penalty, no financial penalty for it. So far, he is not even called a rapist. Sexually assaulted a woman and owes her, basically $100 million. And that's to the appeals court. That's like the one thing we've got left on holding this guy to account for anything that he's done ever in his life. So let's look at the energy around this court case and where it is right now, okay? Entertainment purposes only. What do we got? The Sun card. Okay, truth is being exposed. Now, Donald Trump says the truth is that this was a politically motivated case. I guess, all the fraud that you did in there was just a happy coincidence. Cross with the Page of Pentacles in the Ace of Cups. All right, so Donald Trump has been shown to be a fraudster, but now he's not going to have to pay any penalty for it. Oh, the big money that you're talking about, yeah, now it's going to be little money, if not no money. Ace of Cups underneath it. People are going to be angry. Donald Trump is celebrating. Other people are going to be angry about this. They said this was a deeply divided appeals court. You think? Yeah. Two of them, one guy said this case should never have come up in the first place. Letitia James never proved her point. Two of them said it was fine. Two of them said, oh, no, he may have committed fraud, but they shouldn't have fined him so much money. Passions dividing, not uniting. In the past, the Star card. Sun card and the Star card. These are different cards than I had before. Donald Trump, being the star of the show, the star of the planet, creates his own world and we all have to live in it. Current situation, Four of Cups. I don't know if these are like the other court cases that he's managed to knock down and this one's not knocked down yet. Certainly this is a card of, this could be a card of meditation or contemplation of choices in front of you, but it's a card of dissatisfaction. Again, with the Ace of Cups here. Trump is dissatisfied they ever brought the court cases against him. We're dissatisfied because nobody seems to ever hold him accountable. Overarching energies and Nine of Swords. Now, this one came up before, too. The anxiety. He's not out of the woods yet. We still have one more court to go through on this one. The lesson to be learned is the Queen of Pentacles. Trump doesn't care about his reputation. Not even a little bit does he care. He cares about the money. That's all he cares about. The outcome is the Knight of Cups. False friend, moving forward. We got these passions here. To me, they're carrying his water. I think they did him a huge favor on this one. This doesn't feel like justice. Granted, we got to see what a fraudster he was. We got to see how he cheated the system, how he overinflated the value of his properties to secure loans and things along those lines to get favorable rates. And then he undervalued the property so he'd pay the least amount of tax possible. Up until True Social stock went public, he was a paper billionaire. He wasn't even a billionaire on paper. He owed so much money. He's been bankrupt so many times. So now we go to New York's highest court. Previous reading, I got a lot of Eight of Wands cards and the Knight of Swords. Things happening quickly here. Let's see what we get on this one. How is this going to do with the final court, the New York's highest court in the land? Ten of Wands. All difficult decisions that need to be made. That card came up too. Same position, High Priestess. Difficult decision to be made. You're going to have to use some wisdom here. And underneath it is the Magician, manifestation, or illusion. A couple major arcana here. So we'll go to the highest court in the land. And they're supposed to be the ones who will rule wisely and with wisdom. But will it be true or will it be an illusion? In the past, Three of Wands, waiting for this court case to come to that highest court. It's now coming in that direction. Current situation is the Three of Coins. The backroom dealing. How do we redo this? Kind of like what's fair, but it's more fair for wealthy than non-wealthy. They've got to do something. They have to act. They cannot not act on this. They have to act quickly. Whatever decision they make, it's going to be made quickly. It's funny because in the previous reading I was getting like the death card. So, you have to act before Trump dies. You better rule. I'm not sure. Outcome, the ten of cups. I don't think that this is the outcome that makes everybody happy unless like you're a Republican or something like that. This is like the fake family. If it were just about anybody else, I'd say we're going to celebrate the ruling there. I think that ruling is going to cause celebration amongst the wealthiest in the country. I don't think they're going to uphold a fine. Will Donald Trump be fined anything? They could. I don't know if they can even reinstitute a fine. I don't know if they can say, okay, it shouldn't have been $500 million. It should be $50 million. I don't even know if they can do that. It's like, I think it's an all in. I don't know. I don't know if it's an all or nothing decision here. Either they put. Is Donald Trump going to be fined $500 million when the appeals court, when the final court is done? Will he have to pay a significant amount of money, like $500 million? There's your 5. Hillbilly Brawl card. A lot of fighting and struggling. Looking at integrity. Need to make a decision. Decision that it's like a decision they don't like. Temperance. You've got the fighting up front to the high energy, and then the calming down over here. It just, I don't see them fighting him. First off, there's no coin cards here. There's just energy and emotions. Energy and emotions. It's like we can't find them. It would just cause mayhem. We don't like that we have to do this, but we have to show integrity and bring the temperature down. To me, it's just another example of this guy getting away with everything. Now, I could be wrong. Could be totally misinterpreting these cards. But that's pretty much what I was getting in the first reading that I did too. Can also be a personal message to me. Your energy's up here, 5 of Wands. It needs to be down here, Temperance card. Remember your integrity. If you want to read the cards, you got to get your emotions out of it. We know you don't like it, but, you're going to have to deal with it. Could very well be just a message to your reader here. I got words for that. They would be words that I can't use on YouTube here because I would have to flag my video. I'd love to share my words with my guides and my Council of 12 and with any other enlightened being I could share them with. I'd like to do it sooner rather than later, too. Just to let them know exactly how I feel. Because I don't think they understand the ugliness that's going on around here. Maybe they need to experience a little bit of it themselves. Right? How does Letitia James feel after the final court makes their final decision? Okay. There we go. I don't even think I need to. I'm not even going to throw any more cards in that. Well, this could be the current feeling, right? Disappointment and betrayal, and acting quickly. That's why she's going to file her appeal. But yeah, she feels betrayed, absolutely betrayed. She knows she had the right case. She knows she had the goods on the guy, and this is just good old boys taking care of good old boys. Will her appeal be denied? I don't know if that's the same thing that I just read on, but that's pretty much what I just asked, but I'll ask it again. Will her appeal be denied? King of Wands. It's like it... Don't know if... Okay, just keep going. I pause because it's like an Attorney General card. It's like, is this something we want to go forward and we want to fight? Is it going to change the outcome? Ace of Pentacles. Is it worth the money? The Tower card. I need to look up something real quick here and find out, where Letitia James is in the food chain for who gets to make that decision. Okay, so she is the Attorney General, so this is her having to make that decision. Underneath all is the Tower, kind of like watching her case get cut out from underneath her. Underneath it all is the Hanged Man. Kind of like, it's like the appeals court they just threw her under the bus. She wants to fight to get this fine restored here. She absolutely intends on fighting to get it done. Now, I guess that betrayal card was probably how she's feeling now, even though that's not what I asked. And this answer is still not giving me what I asked. Will she be successful in getting her fine reinstated against Donald Trump and his business? It looks like the answer's no. If I looked at that first reading, the answer's no. But it's not like she's not going to try. And it might be she's going to try anyways, but she knows she can't. It's like the way the appeals court ruled, especially with that Tower card underneath there. She's going to fight it. Will she succeed? Will that fine get restored? Page of Wands. It's not a super positive card there. Five of Cups, disappointment. Nine of Swords, anxiety, the Empress. And the High Priestess again. I think she's going. This was the cross in the High Court. She's going to bring forward her case to that highest court, but it's like she has an impossible bar to overcome. She knows she did everything she could do. She did everything right, and yeah, she'll pursue it. She knows that she's in the right. She knows she did everything right. And I would be surprised if Donald Trump is held accountable. By the way, the cards are coming up right now. Basically, everything looks like he's going to be allowed to skate yet again. Spirit, anything else you want to share with us about this case? You want to share with us precisely why Donald Trump is never held accountable for anything he does ever? At least we still have E. Jean Carroll, right? Or do I have to do that too, just so that we get any kind of justice against this man? What else do you want us to know about this case that I haven't asked? Queen of Cups. Keep your emotion in checks, David. It clouds your judgment. What else do we need to know? Things are being kept quiet And it's impacting judgments. I think there's stuff happening behind the scenes, not only in this court, but in all government organizations here. In the past, the poor people suffer. 2 tiers of justice. Poor people suffer. Although, something like this might cause people to unleash their passions and really start calling out the 2-tiered system and wanting to go out and make changes on it because the system's corrupt. It really favors wealthy people. It's the best. It's the best money court can buy. The best court money can buy. Excuse me. And winners and losers. If you've got money, you win. If you're poor, you lose. And it's that way across all sorts of governments. Money's corrupted all of this stuff. Money, power, control, 2 levels of justice. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. It's readings for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.